There again, we're getting that time of year when the days are getting shorter, nights are getting longer. People instinctively know that we're coming up to the Halloween season. We've been asked this year to bring us very special Derry dinners. We're going to show you how to bake a very simple apple cake. It's delicious, and in my opinion, is the source of trick-or-treating. So this is a really great recipe because it's very simple. There's nothing fancy about it, but it produces really high quality, the stuff of produce you'd expect from this area. You're going to need apples, cooking apples. I've got 4, 3 might do. If you have 4, all the better. You're going to need flour, any kind of flour, plain, self-raising, doesn't really matter, but you need 8 ounces of it. You need butter, good quality butter, 4 ounces, and you need sugar. Any type of sugar, caster sugar, whatever type of sugar. I don't know how much sugar you're going to actually need. You're just going to have to eyeball it when you're going along. But we can talk about that when we get here. Oh, and one more thing. You're going to need a turnip. But we'll get to the turnip. So you're going to need about 4 ounces of butter. Now, if you're not a professional like myself, I know that about half that is 4 ounces. But if you don't, you could probably try and measure it. So once you have your ingredients ready at this stage, you get your 4 ounces of butter and 8 ounces of flour, and you just mix them together. But there's a bit of a thing in this, it's not just, well, I'll show you. So once you have it loaded together, you basically have to like squish it together. So you're kind of like mixing the butter and flour with your fingers. So obviously wash your hands or whatever, and then you're just scrumpling the two together till it turns, it's like nearly like wee cornflakes, so it all turns into. So you want to get it like that there, you're just getting it basically mixed in, mixing the butter and flour together, and it'll go like that. So whenever you have about this consistency here, you probably want to just put a few drops of water on it and mix it again into like a smooth round ball. So once you have it about like this, smooth round ball, just cover that and put it in the fridge for an hour. So when you're waiting for your dough to kind of settle a while in the fridge, you can be getting your apples organised. This year recipe, what we're dealing with here is actually a family recipe passed down from my grandmother. And I remember she used to do, she doesn't have a peeler or nothing like that. She just had just one knife and just how skillfully just the whole way, go by long strip of peel like that. And then say to us, here, do you want this apple peeled? And everybody used to go mad to get the apple peeled. I'm not eating that out. So once you have your apples peeled, the next thing you have to do is get them sliced up. This is kind of controversial in the apple cake making community. Some people believe you should pre-stew your apples. Now, as some people know, if you bite into an apple, sometimes you get like a sour or a tart taste off an apple. And you don't know what you're dealing with when you're looking at an apple like that. You can't tell by the look of it how that apple is going to perform inside the cake. Now you're going to put sugar on to try and minimise that or to counteract the tartness yet. But some people say that you should always stew it in a pan. You get a pan, you chop it up, put the apples on, put the sugar on, and in that way you can taste it. And you can determine, it's sweet enough, that'll be nice. And then at that stage you put that on the cake, but that's not the way we're going to do it. We are going to just go for it, right? And the secret to this is the depth or the density of your apple slice. Not too thin and not too thick. You want about the depth of a cheese slice, something around that. You just get them sliced up. I'm going to do that now. So once you get your dough out of the fridge, you want to cut it in half. One half's going to be the top, one half's going to be the bottom. Plant that flour on the board, and then you're basically just flattening it out. At this bowl with a rolling pin. Basically all you need to do then is put a wee layer of sugar at the bottom, and then just start layering your apples on top of it, and on top, just on that, you build up your apple pie. And as I was saying before, you probably want to do a layer of apple and a layer of sugar. Very generous with sugar because, as I say, like you don't really know what you're dealing with in terms of the apple, like if it's going to be sweet or whatever. So far so good. Basically that's what you have. I might even have too many apples on there, but you want to have your apples unloaded. We're going to get the other bit of pastry and put it over the top, and we'll get to that. But because this is like going to be a Halloween thing, well, we were thinking, right, trick or treat. And this is where probably the whole trick or treat thing came out of, because normally what they would have done is stuck something in the apple cake, maybe a ring, maybe a coin, and we're going to follow on in that tradition. And we're going to add on a pound coin on it just for somebody to get a wee bite in, and they end up getting a pound coin. Hopefully they don't swallow it or break it out. But anyway, it's going to be in there for a pound, and that's going to be the treat. But what about the trick? Well, we are thinking, if you happen to have had carved out a turnip, you could probably use that. You don't want to waste the turnip by throwing it away. I mean, the last thing you'd want to do with a turnip is make soup or anything with it. Maybe, what if we do apple cake and turnip? Just one slice, and here somewhere, so that unlucky recipient expecting a nice bit of apple cake ends up getting a slice of turnip apple cake. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to load this now with an extra slice, just one portion of turnip, just for the crack. You're just going to get the lid on this now. So just go round then and crimp down the edges of your pie, making sure it's nice and airtight. And obviously if there's a wee patch or hole in it, you can use a bit of pastry to fill it in. So we've got a finishing touches, yeah, just a wee bit of milk over the top. They give it a nice wee bit of lift when it's ready. Brush it down. And then finally, just a few pricks with a fork and a chew. That's her. On the oven, 20 minutes, 200 degrees. Beautiful apple pie, simple, few ingredients, but effort makes them really delicious. And I think it'll be a bit of fun there and there, for people to do a bit of trick or treating or whatever. I'm going to get the turnip part turned up. That's good. That's good. That's good. Turnip. Huh? Turnip. Try it. Try it though. Try it. I can take it.
Get the piece of pastry, make sure it's nice and firm like this. So if you see any cracks, just kind of pat them out. Pop it down, pat it down. Roll, keep turning, roll,